Welcome to this short video exploring e-safety by the FaZe team. We find ourselves in a time where we're spending more hours in front of a screen and online than we probably ever have before in our lives. You're learning online, connecting with friends and family over FaceTime, Zoom, WhatsApp or other media platforms. Technology and being online are a huge part of our lives right now, and there are many benefits to it. It's helping us stay connected, to learn, to have information easily accessible. But we also need to be wise in how we use it well. We want to explore 3 things with you quickly that we hope will help you during this time. And they are being aware, being mindful, and being vigilant. So firstly, being aware. A few interesting facts. The average person in the UK spends more than 24 hours a week online, and on average, every 8.6 minutes, a person will check their phone. These statistics were before lockdown, so I imagined that the numbers would now be higher. Snapchat, FaceTime, gaming, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, these are just some of the ways in which we can spend our time in front of a screen. But it's so important that for our well-being, that we're aware of the number of hours that we're spending looking at screen and that we're trying to manage that time. It's important not only to be aware of how much, but also what we're doing. Social media is purposely built to make us keep scrolling, so we get absorbed and suddenly time has vanished, it's disappeared. It can be hard because we don't want to miss out. But there are small changes that we can make to help us manage the time that we spend in front of a screen and therefore impact our well-being. So a few ideas are: set yourself specific times when you'll spend time away from a screen, whether that's at lunchtime or an evening a week. Building time for those activities that require you to be away from a screen, whether that's reading, getting outside for a walk or a run. And it can be so easy to want to look at social media last thing before heading to bed. So try and put your phone the other side of the room or put it in a different place completely. So those are just some of the ways in which we can be aware.
So second is to be mindful. Thinking particularly about what you post online and about what you're viewing online, and whether it's appropriate, advantageous, and authentic. So appropriate. You might wonder, why does it matter so much what I post online? Well, I'm going to show you a quick video that's hopefully going to answer that question for you. This is me, and I've decided to take a picture to share on my story. All these people can now see my picture. I've got a friend, Kate, and she thinks the picture is funny, so she screenshots it and shares it on her story. Now all these people can also see my picture. Kate's friend Tom thinks the picture is funny, so shares it on his story. His friends Jack and Linda also share the picture. All these people have now seen the picture, but how many of them are people that I chose to share the picture with? I decide the picture's embarrassing, so I delete it. But am I able to get the picture back? It's important to remember that once you've shared something online, you cannot guarantee that you can delete it or get it back, or control who will see it. When you share things online or on social media, think about, would you be happy for your parents or your grandparents to see it? Would you be happy if you went for a job interview in the future and they had seen it? Is what you're sharing appropriate? It's also important to think about what you're watching or viewing online. Again, would you be happy if your parents came in or if your grandparents came in and saw what you were doing? If not, think about why that might be and whether it's an appropriate thing for you to be interacting with. So next we want to think about whether everything is advantageous, which means whether it's useful or helpful. As Hannah's already mentioned, we're all guilty, aren't we, of mindlessly scrolling through social media. But I encourage you to be conscious about how you feel after viewing certain content. Does it leave you feeling good about yourself and positive and uplifted, or does it actually leave you feeling worse? Maybe it's worth identifying those accounts and unfollowing them or changing the way that you interact with them. And again, think about what you're posting yourself. Is it encouraging others? Is it uplifting them? Is it helping build your friendships stronger? Or is it actually things that are going to upset people or embarrass people or leave people feeling negative? Social media can be an amazing place for encouraging messages and creating positive change. So I encourage you to use your platform and use your voice to be a part of that and to help those around you. And finally, being mindful about how authentic everything online really is. Does the person that you are online really reflect who you are in real life? Or are you trying to portray yourself slightly differently? Don't let followers or views become more important than your real life friendships or relationships. Don't let trying to get the perfect video or photo mean you miss the moment that you're really in. And on the flip side, be conscious of the fact that as you scroll through social media, what you're seeing is other people's highlights reel. Don't compare your boring Sunday afternoon with somebody else's amazing Snapchat story, because everybody has days that are hard. Everybody has days that are boring. Everybody has days where they might feel a bit lonely, and everybody probably has photos of themselves that they don't really like. But social media doesn't get to see any of that. So be aware when you're tempted to compare with what you're seeing online that what you're seeing is just a highlights reel and not people's real life.
The third thing I would encourage you to do is be vigilant. Be vigilant about what you're doing and who you're accessing on the internet. Be vigilant about who's following you. Think about your privacy settings. Have you set your account to private? If not, I'd encourage you to do so. That means you get to choose who is viewing you. You get the power and the control over that. Think about your passwords as well. It's good to have different passwords for each account that you have. And also treat them like your toothbrush. Change them regularly and don't share them. There's a great website called thinkyounknow.co.uk that I'd encourage you to check out with some great ideas, tips, and things to help you make the most of social media and the internet. It is a fantastic place, but we've got to be vigilant how we're using it and what we're doing on there. Just like crossing the road, you'd look both ways and listen out for cars. The internet's the same. We've got to be aware, be vigilant, be mindful of what we are doing. The three things I want to encourage you to do: be aware. Be aware of how your interaction with social media and the internet is affecting your well-being for both good and negative reasons. Be mindful about what you're viewing and what you're putting out there, and ask yourself those key questions. And be vigilant. Think about your privacy settings and who is accessing your content. We want you to make the most of this wonderful thing that the internet and social media is. But do it well and do it wisely. We hope you found this really useful and interesting. Don't forget that you can follow Faze on social media, Instagram, Facebook and YouTube @FazeHitchin. We look forward to seeing you again in person.